Okay, today we are going to discuss about the sentences types. As previously I have told you about the exclamatory, declarative, imperative sentences. Today we are going to move forward and we are going to see the differences between simple, compound and complex sentences. What is the main difference between simple, compound and complex sentences? The first one we are going to go with is simple sentence. A simple sentence has a subject and a verb. Like I am a teacher, subject I, verb am. In the same sense, she took a cab to the airport. Now over here, she is the subject and cab is the verb. We are having pizza for dinner tonight. We is a subject and are having is a helping verb or auxiliary verb, but over here we are going to take it as a single verb, are having. So a simple sentence has a subject and a verb. सिंपल सेंटेंस में एक सब्जेक्ट होता है और एक वर्ब होता है. जैसे आई एम अ टीचर, टीचर में आई इज अ सब्जेक्ट and am is a verb. She took a cab to the airport. She is a subject or took matlab it's a verb. We are having pizza for dinner tonight. Subject we or verb hai are having. A simple sentence is also called an independent clause. What is independent clause? You must have heard the word independent clause, dependent clause. Independent clause, अब ये समझो simple sentence का दूसरा नाम, the second name is independent clause. A simple clause is an independent clause which contains a subject and a verb. Now, what is a compound sentence? Now, compound sentence has two or more independent clauses. What I mean is, okay, two sentences with complete thought, which can be read and understood easily. I am a teacher. My wife is a lawyer. Now, these are two separate sentences. If we read out separately, we can easily understand the meaning of the sentences. But if I want to join the sentence, I want some word, a word or a phrase. So if I join the sentence, I'll make this into one sentence. This is called compound sentence. A compound sentence is in which we have two simple sentences together or two independent clauses together. I'm a teacher and my wife is a lawyer. Acha, remember this thing. After completing one independent clause, we put a comma. We put a comma. Generally, we put a comma when we have more than one thing to identify the things. But over here, when we complete the idea, the thought, the independent clause, we put a comma, then insert insert a coordinating conjunction and then complete our sentence. Now, conjunction, what is conjunction? A joining word which joins the two words. We have already done this in parts of speech, if you remember. Now we have a coordinating conjunction, means which coordinate, which helps to build a bridge between two sentences and makes it a compound sentence. She tried to lift the suitcase was too heavy. Now over here, they are telling you two sentences. If we read them separately, we can easily understand. She tried to lift the suitcase, comma, but it was too heavy. Again, we are combining the sentence with the help of compound, with the help of coordinating conjunction, and it's called a compound sentence. He didn't have enough cash. He paid by credit card. He didn't have enough cash, comma, so he paid by credit card. So all these three sentences, they have two independent clauses, which we, with the help of coordinating conjunction, we made it a compound sentence, single sentence. But remember, we are going to insert, we are going to add conjunction and comma, which is very important. We can take a bus to the museum. We can just walk. Again, two simple ideas which can easily be read, which can easily be understood. We can take a bus to the museum or we can just walk. Words like and, but, so, or are called coordinating conjunctions. Now, let me just give you a recap. कंपाउंड सेंटेंस वो होता है जिसमें दो सिंपल सेंटेंसेस या दो मुख्तलिफ आइडियाज या कंप्लीट थॉट बयान की गई हो. जैसे आई एम अ टीचर, माय वाइफ इज अ लॉयर. अगर हम इसको सेपरेटली पढ़ेंगे तो हमें समझ आ जाएगा सेंटेंस, और हमें एक सेंटेंस बनाना है तो हम इसमें एक ऐसा वर्ड ऐड करेंगे जो दोनों को कंबाइन कर ले, एंड उसको हम कहते हैं कंपाउंड सेंटेंस. और जो वर्ड ऐड करते हैं उसको हम कहते हैं कोऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शंस, या कंजंक्शन भी बोल सकते हैं इजी इसके लिए. अच्छा, इसमें जो खास चीज याद करने की है वो कॉमा है. जैसे ही एक इंडिपेंडेंट क्लॉज है, एक सिंपल सेंटेंस कंप्लीट हो जाता है, हम कॉमा लगाते हैं, इसके बाद कोऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शंस लगाते हैं, देन वी कंप्लीट द रेस्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस. I hope you have understood compound sentence. Now, I'm giving a simple exercise so you can have an understanding of the sentence and you can check yourself how much you've understood. You have to complete the simple sentences into compound sentence. Okay. She dropped her phone on the floor. It broke. I'm not very hungry. I'll just have an orange juice. You should study harder. You'll fail the exam. We'd like to buy a car. We can't afford one right now. I told my roommate to turn down the TV. He didn't. I got up and left. Now, I've given you 5 sentences. Uh, you have 2 minutes to go through it and complete these two simple sentences into compound sentence with the help of coordinating conjunctions. Don't forget to put a comma in between the sentences. Okay, I'll just give my answers and you can check your answers. She dropped her phone on the floor, comma, and it broke. I'm not very hungry, so I just have an orange juice. You should study harder or you'll fail the exam. We do like to buy a car, but we can't afford one right now. I told my roommate to turn down the TV, but he didn't, so I got up and left. Now remember, sometimes we have sentences in which we can add some other conjunctions also, and it is going to be considered right. But these are my answers, so I would like everyone to have a quick look at the answers. Okay, we can move forward. Now it's complex sentences. Now complex sentences has a dependent clause and an independent clause. Now you must be thinking that what is dependent clause and how to describe dependent clause. When I got home from work yesterday, I watched TV for an hour. Now just notice this thing. The highlighted blue sentence phrases. When I got home from work yesterday. So what happened? What do you understand by this? I watched TV for an hour. Yes, I know you watched TV for an hour. वो आइडिया जो completely आपको समझ आता है उसको हम कहते हैं independent clause. लेकिन वो phrases, words or phrases, clauses जो हमें समझ नहीं आता, जो incomplete लगता है, उसको हम कहते हैं dependent clause. Means when I got from homework yesterday is dependent on I watched TV for an hour. अगर मैं I watched TV for an hour ना लिखूं तो वो incomplete sentence होगी. जबकि मैं अगर I watched TV for an hour लिख लूं तो आपको समझ आ जाएगा. इस तरह ये dependent clause है और वो independent clause है. I watched TV for an hour is an independent clause. Complex sentence में dependent clause और independent clause both are there. Now I'll give you few words, few sentences, and you can just check and try to figure out uh, which is dependent clause and which is independent clause. Okay? I love to travel because I get to meet a lot of interesting people. Even though the exam was quite difficult, all the students passed. Let me know if you need any help. I can't go out and play until you have finished your homework. Now try to read the sentences carefully. Whichever phrase, clause you are understanding, that is going to be considered independent clause. But where you need help of some other words, some other clause, that is called dependent clause. Okay, I'll go with the answers. I love to travel because I get to meet a lot of interesting people. Even though the exam was quite difficult, all the students passed. Let me know if you need any help. You can't go out and play until you have finished your homework. Now, all the blue ones are dependent on the dependent clauses, and they are depending on independent clauses. I love to travel. Okay, I understood. All the students passed. Okay, let me know. You can't go out and play. All these four sentences are understandable, and uh, we call it independent clauses, and the blue one are dependent clauses. The subordinating conjunctions are when, because, even though, if, until, because they are joining or somehow explaining you about the uh, about the dependent clause. Complex sentences. One more thing, special thing to remember is that you just have to keep this in mind. I'm not going to go in detail. I'm just explaining you. Just you keep this in mind. A complex sentence has a dependent clause and independent clause, as I told you. Now, sometimes it is uh, it is combined with a relative clause or relative pronoun. Relative pronoun means something which is used instead of a noun. And relative clause means something which is related to the subject sentence. Now see, I know a guy. I can understand this. Who plays guitar in the rock band? I know a guy. If I say who plays guitar in the rock band, definitely this sounds incomplete. Plays guitar in the rock band, this sounds incomplete. So what I'm going to add is I'm going to add a relative pronoun or a relative clause. Synonyms are words that have same meaning. Now over here, that again is a relative pronoun or relative clause. The boss wants me to give a speech at the event, comma, which is tomorrow. Which is tomorrow? What is tomorrow? Event. So over here we're using a relative pronoun. I just wanted you to keep this in mind and remember this thing that a relative clause or relative pronoun can be added to make a sentence complex. Now, I'm going to give you again a simple exercise and let's see if you can easily do it. I have given you a few sentences. Remember, you can change the pronouns and just try it. The words are given to you. I mean, to join the words. People know fast food is bad for their health. Still, people eat a lot of fast food nowadays. You have to add even though, or where you are going to add, and where you're going to skip few words. This is your uh, understanding skills. This includes your understanding skills. You can't borrow any books from library if you don't have a membership. Yes. She couldn't log into her Gmail account. The reason for this was that she forgotten her password. Anna was a vegetarian. Then she married John and she stopped being vegetarian. A man lives in this house. That man is millionaire. Some video games contain violence. Children shouldn't be allowed to play these games. You can use which, you can use that. Remember, sometimes you have to use pronoun. Okay? Relative pronoun. Okay, let us just check the answers. People eat a lot of fast food nowadays, even though they know it's bad for health. You can't borrow any books from library unless you have a membership. She shouldn't log into her Gmail account because she forgotten her password. Anna was a vegetarian until she married John. The man who lives in that house is a millionaire. Children shouldn't be allowed to play video games that contains violence. I hope you got the answers correct. And if you have done mistakes, kindly correct it. And if you have any questions, you may ask me. Feel free to ask. Now we are going to move with the last compound complex sentences, where compound is also present, complex sentences also there. It means they are all together. It is a little bit of extended. A compound and complex sentence has more than one independent clause, one and more dependent clause. Means there in a sentence there might be two independent clauses and one dependent clause. There might be two independent clauses and two dependent clauses. Now how? See, I was crazy about heavy metal when I was younger, but I'm more into jazz now. Now I'm crazy about heavy metal. You can easily understand this is an independent clause. When I was younger. Now this sounds incomplete. So it's depending on the sentence. But I'm more into jazz now. Again, dependent clauses. So you see, two dependent and one independent. It makes a compound complex sentence. If it rains tomorrow, bring your umbrella or you might catch a cold. If it rains tomorrow, now if it rains tomorrow, it means something is there. It sounds incomplete sentence. This means it's a dependent clause. Bring your umbrella, complete thought, complete sentence, independent clause. Or you might catch a cold. Again, dependent clause. So these are few examples, and I tried my level best to make you understand. If you have any problem or if you don't understand anything, kindly share with me. I'll try to my level best to solve your issue. Thank you so much. Inshallah, I'll meet with a new concept. Till then, Allah Hafiz.